Every 15th of August, the routine of celebration takes over. Parades, patriotic songs, and social media posts become the standard backdrop of modern life. Reaching this state of stability required nearly 2 centuries of direct friction with a global empire. Every thread of that flag connects the present day to a long timeline of individuals who spent their entire lives in pursuit of it. Modern liberty exists because previous generations made a calculated decision to dismantle their own security to secure a future for the subcontinent. Before the 1600s, India's economic output made it a central hub of global wealth, driven by a dominance in the textile and spice trades. The East India Company initially arrived as a group of merchants, but they systematically expanded their influence until they held total administrative and military control over millions of people. This map illustrates the mechanics of the colonial economy. Raw materials, wealth, and grain were extracted and shipped to Britain, while the local population faced increasing scarcity. With the country's resources redirected elsewhere, the struggle for self-rule became a necessity for physical survival. The first major break in that colonial control came in 1857, with a rebellion that spanned the country and fundamentally changed the relationship between the people and the crown. Decades of tension reached a turning point on April 13, 1919, when a peaceful crowd gathered in the enclosed courtyard of Jallianwala Bagh. This diagram records the events that followed. General Dyer ordered troops to fire into the crowd without warning. The soldiers blocked the only exit, shown by coordinates marking the bullet strikes. People were trapped in the crossfire, with no escape. This event ended any possibility of a shared future under British rule. The demand for total independence became the only path forward. In response to this military force, Mahatma Gandhi introduced ahimsa, a strategy of nonviolent resistance that targeted the empire's ability to govern. As seen here, this approach turned the ordinary public into a political force. By walking together in mass marches and refusing to comply with colonial laws, they made the subcontinent ungovernable. Economic self-reliance became a weapon. This charkha represents the millions who boycotted foreign goods and endured physical retaliation without ever striking back. By absorbing the violence of the state while remaining peaceful, the movement systematically dismantled the empire's standing on the global stage. While some focused on nonviolence, young revolutionaries like Bhagat Singh chose a different path of direct resistance, facing execution while still in their early 20s. Subhas Chandra Bose took this martial resistance further, arguing that the nation had to actively seize its freedom through military power. Bose formed the Azad Hind Fauj, shown here in inspection. These soldiers were driven by a singular goal: to force the British to retreat through direct combat. The presence of a disciplined armed resistance convinced the British administration that they could no longer hold the subcontinent by force. At midnight on August 15, 1947, the century-long effort finally reached its goal as the country became independent. However, the victory arrived alongside a massive geographic and cultural fracture as the country was partitioned. The human cost of this transition was immediate. Partition displaced millions and resulted in widespread trauma across thousands of families. Families left behind their ancestral homes, migrating across new borders and into massive makeshift refugee camps that stretched for miles. The achievement of independence and the tragedy of partition happened simultaneously, marking the final price paid for the nation's liberty. The colors of the Indian flag correspond directly to the specific phases of this struggle. Saffron represents the courage and sacrifice of the revolutionaries, who faced the gallows to put pressure on the empire. The white stands for the discipline of nonviolence, and the green signifies the goal of restoring the country's natural prosperity. At the center, the Ashok chakra represents the continuous effort required to move the nation forward. Every element of this symbol is linked to the lives and effort given by previous generations. This history is the reason for the rights enjoyed today: the ability to vote, to speak freely, and to build a life based on personal ambition. Patriotism is the ongoing responsibility to protect the stability and progress that those before us established at such a high cost. The next time that flag is raised, Consider the individuals who ensured it would be there to see. Every breath taken in a free country carries a weight of the lives spent to make that breath possible.